Pero bago ka mag-therapy at bago ka makarating dun sa depression and harming yourself, may pinagdaanan ka kasi. You went through something nung bata ka.
Yeah, different types of abuse actually, because I think my parents were very busy with their work often. So my yaya was my companion a lot of the times, and she was abusive in more ways than one. So one of the ways was verbal, so she'd always insult me, say the same things these two people on Twitter were saying.
Okay,
You're
when you
useless,
say-
disappointment,
Yan ang sinasabi sa'yo?
stupid.
Yaya mo?
Yeah, all these different things, and then she kind of gave me these paranoid beliefs. So one thing was I couldn't be in rooms alone, any enclosed space. So because I had this feeling like I'm gonna die. There's something in here that's gonna kill me. Like it felt like the devil was in my room. Like it felt like I'm
Dahil
going to
sa yaya
die.
mo?
Because of my yaya, I only got over this fear when I was around 14 years old.
Why?
15
Will
years old.
she lock you inside
Yeah.
confined spaces?
Yes, so one thing was sometimes if I was supposedly bad or anything like that, or if I was crying or anything to try and get me to stop, she would get like a stuffed toy and she'd say, this stuffed toy is gonna kill you. It's gonna do this to you and that to you. She put the stuffed toy in the closet and she'd lock me in the closet. And then I was a toddler, I was like 3 years old, so I would always think like this stuffed toy is really gonna kill me, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die.
Did you ever tell your parents what you were going through?
When I was older, because at the time I didn't realize it wasn't normal.
Oh.
It was all I had known for a while because I was a toddler, and I didn't realize this wasn't a regular kind of disciplinary action or move or anything like that. So I remember I casually mentioned it to my first grade teacher, and then she told my parents, and she said like, this isn't okay, like you need to get help, blah 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 blah. And
Kinausap ka ng parents mo about it?
yeah, they told my parents. I think that was the first kind of taste of like my parents finding out something about my yaya. But I only fully told them everything when I started going to therapy, and I realized, okay, wait, this wasn't normal, that wasn't normal, this wasn't normal.
Parang yung kinukwento sa atin ni Emman ngayon is also an awakening para sa ating mga parents. Na yung kung saan natin iniiwan at kung sinong nag-aalaga sa mga anak natin, malaki din ang nagiging impact nila sa personality at pagkatao ng mga anak natin. Yan ang magiging childhood memory nila. So kung ano ang ginagawa ng yaya or ng guardian, magkakaroon ng malaking impact yon. So paano yan naka-affect sa mental health mo growing up? Na naging malaking influence yung yaya. Kasi sinabi mo, naging verbally abusive siya sa'yo in a way?
Yeah.
She puts you down the way she
Yeah.
speaks to you?
Yeah.
Physical? What kind of physical was done to you?
So, because
Yeah.
I was scared to be in rooms alone, she had to sleep in bed with me. And so every time I would move to change positions, she'd slap me. And
Hindi mo sinusumbong yun? You didn't tell that to your parents? The mayaya was hitting me.
no, I didn't. I didn't realize it wasn't normal. I think for a lot of my childhood, I thought a lot of these things were normal.
So gaano katagal nag-last? Naalala mo ba yung ganung cycle of like
Abuse? I think she got fired for an unrelated reason to me. I think she talked back to my parents. Yeah, that's when she just left the next day, and I never saw her again since.
Yeah, pero yung impact na ginawa niya sa buhay mo, di ba?
Yeah. After a while, I started to realize it was wrong, and I started to process more things. But there were some things that were, you know, I was scarred in.
1 to 7 years is the formative years of a
Yeah,
child.
exactly.
So kasama yung yaya
Yeah.
sa formative years mo. So ano yung mga na-realize mo na wrong that were done to you? Aside from being locked in the closet, put down like sa words.
Things also related to sexual experiences.
Oh, paano yung sexual? Alam to ng parents mo na? Ngayon?
Yeah, they do.
Okay.
One thing was I had always known what sex was. I had always known since for however long. I never had to have the birds and the bees kind of talk with my parents or anyone, or when, you know, in wellness class, we had a wellness class where they teach sex ed, and
Alam mo na.
I knew all of this. And then
Bakit mo nalaman?
it's because my yaya, she would tell me things in depth about like, oh, this is what sex is. This is like, you know, all the different details, and then like she'd make me watch porn with her.
Nanonood ng porn ng yaya? Babae yung yaya?
She's a girl, yeah, she's a
Nanonood siya ng porn?
yeah.
With you?
Yes,
How old were you?
I was a toddler, like 3 or 4 years old.
Oh my God.
And then one of the
Wala
first
alam
things-
ng parents mo dito? Because they were working.
Yeah, the sexual experiences were the first ones that I kind of realized this is not
Mali.
Yeah, because those are kind of more established boundaries as you grow older.
Yes.
But yeah, and then I think more of the emotional, verbal ones.
Kaya ka nag-therapy.
Yeah, in therapy.
Kasi marirealize mo yan as you age. Marami palang maling bagay that was done to me when I was a kid. Nagkaroon ba kayo ng one-on-one ng parents mo? Like, you told your mom and your dad, this is what I experienced when you were working and I was left with this guardian. Nasabi mo yan sa kanila.
I never told them just like this, all in like an hour-long conversation, but it was always I'd mention bit by bit, she did this, she did that. It was slowly as I was trying to figure out different bad things that she did, I'd slowly tell them more and more and more and more.
Anong sabi ng parents mo?
They resented my yaya, I'd say, because they were already made aware of my mental state, and I think
I heard you were also bullied in school.
I was, yeah.
Bullied in what way?
I was very outspoken, very, you know, weird, some may say, like very quirky, but in a lovable way. And that was always my shtick in a way. And then not only was I a loud person, but I also loved very loud, like I just said. And so I had crushes. So I had a crush on him. His friend actually had reached out to me and started messaging me, and the friend was someone I had a crush on before, and he publicly like rejected me, and it was, you know, an awkward situation and very tense between us. So when he reached out to me and started talking to me, I was like, okay, yay, like it's not tense anymore, like it's not awkward, anything like that. And he messaged me and we were just talking back and forth. And then one day he messages me asking for nude pictures, like for pictures of me in my underwear. And I was around 13 years old at the time.
Okay.
And
And of course, you were 13 years old.
I was 13 years old. I had never held hands with someone, kissed anyone, anything like that. So of course I said no. Like, I'm not doing that. Of course not. And then he keeps asking and asking and asking and asking.
How old is the guy? 13 din?
Yeah, he's also my age. And so he keeps asking and asking, please, like, just send one, just one, just one. And after a bit, I was like scared because we're so tense before, it was so awkward before because he had rejected me. And before then he was my friend and I just wanted my friend back, you know? So I was just like, okay, I'll do it. I sent him one picture and I thought that would be that. We'd go back to a regular conversation.
As in naked?
Underwear at the time. I thought it would be over, but then he kept asking again and again and again. And I think I had sent him maybe 2 more pictures, something like that, 1 to 3 more pictures until I finally said, okay, no, absolutely no more. Like, that was my line, absolutely none. But then he knew that I liked his friend. I had a very big crush on his friend. And so he tells me, like, can I send this to my friend? I really want him to like you. I want him to get over this girl and like you. And I think he'd really like these pictures. And so me being 13, I had no idea how relationships worked, how winning someone over was, or flirting or anything like that. So I was like, okay, if you think it's gonna make him like me, then okay, I'll let it happen. And so he sent it to him, and then my crush messaged me and said, like, I'd seen it, and we went into this back and forth, like, every other day, sometimes days in a row. He would ask me for pictures, and I got no pleasure from it, like, sexually. I got no pleasure from it at all. My pleasure from it was just, he'd message me, he'd talk to me beforehand, and then it was just this false hope that, like, he'll like me back one day.
You were manipulated.
Yeah.
At 13 years old, diba? But at 13, you didn't know any better.
I didn't.
Ang gusto lang niya is to get
him to like me back.
But,
Yes.
diba? It cost you like...
Yes. And then he'd been asking days in a row, sometimes every other day, minimum every other day he'd ask for one. Later I find out, one of my friends tells me, he's sending all of these pictures, every single picture, video, whatever I had sent to him, was being sent to a group chat of 50 guys. Something.
To school?
Yeah, for a year, 2 years, I think. There was no guy I'd ever met that didn't or couldn't have access to pictures of me naked.
So at 13, paano mo hinandle yun?
When I first found out, I was just numb. Like, it was just like, I think I was in such shock, but I think the effects were much more subconscious because everyone had already started to label me as a whore. Like, they tell me to my face, they say, you're a whore, you're a slut, anything like that. And yeah, I always assumed it's my fault. I put myself in this situation. And I am a whore. I am a slut. I am a crazy, wild, whatever everyone's labeled me as. And so...
So in-embrace mo na kung ano yung sinabi nila sa...
Yeah, I kind of was just like, okay, if this is what I am, then that's what I'll be. This is my attempt to win people back. And so I would host parties, you know, I would buy tables for people at a club, anything like that. Just trying to fulfill this crazy, wild persona that was put onto me. And at first it worked. People were like, you know, I won people over. Yeah, I was cool.
Cool girl.
I was cool, rebellious, things like that. But again, I was still hurting.
Kasi for a while, you believe all the lies na pinroject sa'yo ng mga tao. And it's a long journey. At 18 years old, imagine, ang dami mo nang pinagdaanan. Tapos this controversy didn't help also.
Yeah.
Kasi parang binalik ka lang dun sa dati mong pinagdaanan.
Yeah, I think that was a real test to my growth was when this controversy happened. Because after I graduated high school, I was like, this is my chance to heal and to be myself and to...
Paano ka nag-heal?
I think I've just had a newfound appreciation for life and for myself. And I think some of it rooted from therapy, some of it rooted from new friends, a new environment, some of it rooted also from TikTok. And I think when I started posting on TikTok, I started to realize people actually want to hear what I have to say. They want to hear about me. They're interested in me. They actually care about me. It helped me realize my value. It helped me realize the value and the things I can contribute to this world. And so I always thought it was good karma. What was happening on TikTok, this kind of my platform growing in a way, was good karma for all I had to endure in high school, childhood, whatever. And so when the controversy happened, it felt like the whole internet was against me at one point.
O parang bumalik nung high school.
Yeah, I started to
Dati,
question myself.
buong school. Ngayon, internet na.
Yeah, I started to question myself. I started to think, maybe I'm not a good person. Maybe I don't deserve to be happy. Maybe I don't deserve this. What if I just died? Like, the minute that idea came into my head, I stopped myself and I gave myself a pep talk out loud. I told myself, you are so worth it. You have worked so hard to get to this point where you're so happy in yourself and you can express yourself freely. You are not going to be letting these same type of people from high school, these same Yaya from high school, this same kind of person in a different font, do the same thing to you. You need to break this cycle of constantly letting other people bring you down. Gave myself a pep talk for a while, just out loud talking to myself in my room. And then I felt better. And I didn't go down this depressive rabbit hole, turning to suicidal ideation and self-harm and all these different things. I just managed it. And when I look back at that, I'm so proud of myself because if I had to deal with this, I'd say a year ago, 2 years ago, God knows where I would be.
Parang at 18, you've grown so much. Nag-mature ka ng sobra because of what you went through and this controversy. Kasi it takes a lot of maturity for a person to handle this kind of issue.
Yeah.
So, anong naging role ng parents mo navigating this controversy?
My dad he's obviously in the public eye as well, and so he's faced similar he's faced controversies before, and he told me like the same thing a lot of artistas and people in the public eye told me is just don't let it affect you. You can't control that. What you can control is how you digest it, how you manage it. And so do what you can to make sure it doesn't get to you is the main thing. And after a while, it'll pass. And it did pass. Like my audience is back to normal now, all these different things. But I think,
Lilipas din lahat.
yeah.
Pero alam mo, when you go through things like this, trials like this, challenges, you learn something about yourself. May natututunan ka sa sarili mo. And the main thing that you learned about yourself is that Emman is.
I'm loving. I'm loud. I'm bubbly. I'm happy. I'm outgoing. And I'm unapologetically myself. I think that's the best way to put it.
Healing is a lifelong journey. So kung tatanungin kita, what is helping you right now in your healing journey? What is healing you?
I think what's healing me is finding things that I love. I think love is the only thing stronger than hate.
I talked to Jake Cyrus, dati siyang si Charis Pempenko. Ang ganda nung sinabi niya, if you do not understand me, just please be kind to me.
And
Diba?
yeah,
Kindness.
I have a tattoo on the back of my ear. It's a butterfly with a music note, and it's inspired by Friedrich Nietzsche. And his quote is, "And those who were seen dancing were thought to be insane by those who couldn't hear the music." And this tattoo is just a reminder that I have the freedom to dance to the music I hear, regardless of whether people can hear it too. And I think it works in that way as well. Just like I'm dancing, and maybe some people can hear the music, maybe some people can't, and it doesn't matter because I'm happy. I'm listening to the music. You know what I mean?